All right, so after a very long winter, it seemed like even when it was a little warm outside, it was windy and it was impossible to be outside. We're outside finally. Now, it is windy, let me tell you. But it is a beautiful day, but we're at the awkward time of year where the sun comes over the house very quickly and then the yoder's in the dark. So the yoder's going over here. I just filled it up with Bear Mountain oak pellets, just turned it on, and we set it to 275. We're letting it come up to temperature. So let's talk ribs. If you've been paying attention, I've been on a little bit of a mission lately, talking about some myths, and not necessarily myths, but there are a million different ways to do barbecue, right? And I'm not trying to tell you how to do it. The barbecue that I cook today, the way I smoke things today versus 20 years ago is completely different, right? 30 years ago, I was in a Weber Smoky Mountain and it was a whole different process then too. But part of having a YouTube channel for me personally is not just to share my passion for barbecue, but it's also to push me to learn new things. So if I just cook ribs the same damn way every time, you guys are gonna get bored, the videos won't do well, and I'm not learning anything. So this is part of a learning process for me. And I think that there's a lot of things from competition barbecue that people watch and then they bring home to the backyard and they're not getting the best product they could in the backyard. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with competition barbecue, but it's designed for one bite and one bite only. So, I did a video about whether or not to remove the membrane. I removed the membrane for 15 years. Then I stopped doing it. So, you're gonna change things over time, but I just had a video come out and I used foil to really try and block that smoke to see if there was that much of a difference. There wasn't. I think I said there was like maybe a 5% to 8% difference. Like it wasn't that big at all. But in competition barbecue, you're trying to get the best bite every single time. So today we're talking about wrap versus unwrap. I've got two St. Louis style ribs here from Creekstone Farms. They had a sale going on and I stocked up on a bunch of stuff. So we're going to open these guys up and give them a quick season. And I've seen some people turn out some ribs that were wrapped that were absolutely amazing as far as moisture content. And today what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually wrap them in paper, which I don't think I've actually ever done. Definitely haven't done a video of it. I might have done it once or twice, but I haven't tried it. So today we're going to try it. I want to see, these are very similar cuts of St. Louis style ribs. I want to see how they stack up against each other. So let's open these guys up. A little side note, I see tons of people use their knives to open up plastic. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, but I think that if you've got a nice set of knives, why dull the blade quicker cutting through a bunch of thick plastic? I like to keep them nice and sharp. Just a little bit of a side note. What we're going to do is we're going to start on the bottom. I will not be removing the membrane. These guys don't have a very big flap, so we're going to leave the flat in place. A lot of times if you've got a big old flap, you want to cut that off because it will just burn. But we don't have that issue today. And the one thing I'm noticing is that was very awkward for me because I put my glove on the wrong hand. So let me change this real quick. Need to have control over my seasoning here. So today we're using Yoder's pork rub. This stuff is delicious. I really like their pork and I really like their chicken. The chicken is banging. The beef is okay. I don't generally put a lot of seasonings on my beef, but this pork one is good. It's got a little bit of heat with some smoky flavor. It will finish off with a little bit of heat, but it is some darn good stuff. It's got great color. You can get it at bbq.com. I have an 11% discount code that you can use on seasonings and rubs and sauces there, meat church stuff, Yoder stuff, all kinds of stuff really. BBQ has been a longtime partner of the channel, as well as Yoder at this point. I mean, I bought my YS640S from BBQ long before I even had a barbecue channel in my mind. I mean, I kind of joked about it, but I didn't really think I was actually going to follow through. And then one day I was like, all right, let's do this. And here I am 5 years later. But it's nice that I can give you guys a discount code from them because they got some great stuff over there. And if you're anything like me, you've watched tons of Chef Tom videos. It's where I learned the basics of using my Yoder when I first got it. That, my friends, is a beautiful color. Let's get this other side done. And if you haven't noticed, my new Komodo Kamado 38 is behind me. We're doing our very first cook on it. Runs just a little differently than the 32, so I'm learning about some vent settings, but as the saying goes, go big or go home, and we're going big. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna let this sweat in for a little bit. I am gonna take these inside, get them out of the sun, and I'm gonna throw them in the fridge real quick. Pick that end up there. And I'm just gonna let these sweat in for a good 10, 15 minutes. I'll show you what they look like, and then we'll get them on the yoder. Should be up to temperature by then. All right, so it's only been about 10 minutes. You can see just how much moisture our rub drew out of the meat and changed the color of our seasoning. We're gonna get these guys on. One thing I want to talk about, today we're going at 275. On a pellet grill, usually the not usually, the lower your temp, the more smoke, right? As you get up to 275 and above, the smoke level starts to go down. So lots of times I'll supplement with a smoke tube, or lots of times maybe I'll give it an hour early, or an hour low, sorry, if I start earlier, and then I'll crank it up. But today, it's a beautiful day. I promised my wife I was gonna be done filming by a certain time, and some things got in the way, and I started a little later than I wanted to. I couldn't find something I was looking for, and it wasted about an hour of my time. So we're cooking at 275 so that I can still have a happy wife and we can enjoy some ribs. Let's get these guys on. Gonna put these on the top rack. If you've got a top rack on your smoker, I like to use that because heat and smoke rises, so it just helps maximize the smoke. Make sure you leave yourself a little gap. You can see we've got a good gap here, and we've got a gap across the back. If you get too close to the back, sometimes you can get some extra heat from the wall of the yoder. It's heavy duty steel there, so it carries a lot of heat. Then we've got the thicker part here, right? We got a thinner part, thicker part. Closest to the stack, this is the hottest spot right here. And all we're gonna do now is hurry up and wait. So it's been an hour for our ribs on the yoder. They just got to the point where they're nice and dry. We're gonna spray it with 50-50 apple cider vinegar and water. The key step here is to make sure that you wait till your rub dries, right? So let me bring you over here, give these guys a good spray. Pull this guy out just a little. Don't use too much because you'll just push your rub. It's not quite fully tacked up yet. I'm spraying a little early. I'm gonna take the pups for a walk, so I want to get that out of the way. So we're gonna spray and go for a walk. That's all we need. All right, so we're 2.5 hours in. I've sprayed about 3 times now. Let me show you what we're looking at here. As you can see, they're looking pretty nice. See if you can see that. 183. What's this guy back here? I haven't checked this guy. Not quite as much. That one's a little bit more meatier. So what I'm gonna do actually is I'm gonna wrap this back one to help speed it up. At 165, they're not getting any more smoke anyhow. So let's wrap up that big guy in the back. So what we're gonna do here, we've got some butcher paper. I don't need the scissors, they're just here to hold it, but I'm gonna just give it a little bit of a spray so that the wind doesn't take it all away. That was close. All right, so we got a couple little things here we're gonna get rid of real quick. Those guys down here. Here we go. I mean, if you look at these guys, I'm gonna make sure you can see them properly. Color-wise, they look pretty good. They're getting nice and tender. I'm gonna give them a quick spray. A couple dry spots there, and I'll spray the other ones just to make sure. So we'll roll over here. It's tight. All right, so this is meat side up, just to give you an idea. Put this guy back on here. And actually what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna switch these just because I can. Like that, because I gave the other one a spray. We'll give this one more spray. Perfect. And now we're probably gonna go for maybe another hour. All right, so it's been 3.5 hours. Just pulled these guys off. I mean, take a look at that. Give you a good shot of that guy that's not wrapped. A couple little pieces here to peel off. But other than that, that's just marrow and stuff that's coming out of the bone. So I always like to peel it off. But I mean, look at that. That is a good looking rack of ribs. You can see it's just starting to break. You can see in here. And these guys were like 198 to 203. Give you an idea, okay? So really good shape. You can see that membrane at 275. No issues there. We'll bite into these in a little bit, but I think we got some good looking ribs here. This guy didn't open up yet, but I can feel the bend right there. All right. Best way to know that ribs are done is when you put in a thermometer. It's not about temperature, it's about resistance. Use a toothpick if you don't have an InstaRead, but put it in there and it should move freely like peanut butter. All right. So what we're going to do now is we're going to let these guys relax for 15, 20 minutes. Then we'll give them a taste and see how we did. All right, so let's see how we did. I left these guys all wrapped up. So we're going to get them out of the wrapper right out of the gate here. If you're doing anything like this and you've got a fire pit or an offset, this stuff, tallow, anything greasy, throw it in your garage in a Ziploc bag or whatever and save it as a fire starter. So these guys are looking quite good. The one thing I'll say right away is there's a distinct difference, not a distinct difference, but there is a difference here. Some of the rub kind of washed away, whereas this one's, the rub really stayed intact. But overall, I think they're pretty good. I have a dog on either side of me right now. All right, so let's cut right in the middle. You guys got my name on it. That looks like a good, oh, that's a big bite. And we'll do the same thing here. Those guys are definitely curved a little bit more. Definitely a fair amount of moisture there. Looks, I mean, look. You can see it pooling underneath as soon as I give it a little squeeze. Some good moisture there, pretty happy with that. Well, we got some good moisture there. Nice smoke ring across the top. Pretty much on both of them. Good smoke ring there. This one's got a little bit more of a smoke ring than the one that wasn't wrapped. Let's give them a shot. Nice clean bite. Let's try this bad boy here. Oh, wow. Instantly more moisture in this. I mean, it's night and day difference. Wow. Yes, I know. Let me see what I got. Let me bite out some for you here. One for you. One for you. All right. You want to try some there, Cookie? What do you think? How about you, Ollie? You want to try some too? Hold on. No, Cookie. Hey, you had yours. Well, there you have it. Doggy approved, although I'll tell you what, they probably can't tell the difference, but every time they smell pork, they always come running, especially this guy over here, Ollie. He loves some pork. But look, in this experiment here, the wrapped ribs absolutely had more moisture, like twice as much. Now, that being said, this was a little bit of a thicker rack, so maybe that played into it, but I'll tell you what, doing this is gonna make me try experimenting with wrapping again. I'm not gonna go back to foil, but I'm gonna play with some paper wraps and see if I can take my rib game to the next level, because these, my friends, are absolutely phenomenal. Let me know down below, do you wrap, what do you wrap with? Do you wrap with foil, you wrap with paper? Let me know your secrets, share them in the comments down below so everyone can see. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed yet, please do so down below. And if pork is your thing, I got you covered. Check out this video right here. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you soon.